Hi, welcome to our Senior Project 2 video. My name is Grace.
My name's Jennifer.
I'm Lysandra.
And we did our project with Healing Alternatives, and it's a workspace remodel. Today we will reintroduce our project information and review the information given in our first Senior Project video, describe the overall approach we took for our project, explain the results, and finally explain the analysis behind our final recommendation for our client. The challenge we have been facing the past 2 quarters is that Healing Alternatives' current facility layout does not allow for the construction of an additional treatment room or the space to provide additional services because of the wasted space within the facility, which we will show you later on in the video. An example of an additional service would be adding a yoga room. We also need to take into account reducing the noise between the rooms for patient privacy.
For our literature review, since our project is on facilities redesign, our first approach was to do research on that subject with a focus on the healthcare industry. From there, we did some research on 5S methodology and how can we apply it to healthcare. As previously mentioned, one of our project scope is to reduce sound. Because of this, we decided to study noise reduction and absorption. Lastly, we looked at cost analysis to help our client make her final decision.
Our approach to the problem statement began by gathering our client's needs and taking measurements of the facility. Next, we designed our layout alternatives using research and conducting a 5S cleanup of the storage area. And then lastly, we created the deliverables for each alternative, which included a cost analysis, construction timeline, and a 3D visual representation. We also used analytical hierarchy process analysis to choose the alternative we think is the best and conducted an economic analysis on the changes we suggest.
As previously mentioned, we did some research on 5S methodology and how can we apply it to healthcare industry. Our client has a small room that has different purposes. It serves as a storage room, a break area, and lastly as a packaging area. Currently, this room does not have any type of organization and nothing has a specific place. Our first approach to implement the 5S methodology was to use color sticky notes to classify the objects into 3 different categories: high, medium, and low use. After this, we categorized the different uses of the storage room, such as herb pharmacy, packaging area, products, miscellaneous, files, and office area. From there, we were able to get rid of all the objects that did not have a specific use and also find a designated place for all the objects. By doing all this, we were able to eliminate items that our client did not use, and also, as you can see from the pictures, we estimate we were able to increase the open space in the storage room by 25%.
This is the current layout of the facility, and as you can tell, there is one treatment room in the upper left corner, a storage room that also doubles as an office space in the upper right. Then there's an office in the bottom right corner that our client uses to do paperwork and consult with patients in. And then the space in the bottom left-hand corner is wasted open space that isn't used for anything. Now you can see the 2 alternatives we decided on. Both alternatives have 2 treatment rooms. They both keep the storage area as is and decrease the office space. Additionally, they minimize the wasted space by the entrance door. Also, as you can tell, the separation wall is intersecting at a window. But you will learn later in our presentation that our separation options comply with this location. The big difference between the 2 alternatives is the length of the wall circled in blue. If you can remember from the previous slide of the current layout, that exists today. Alternative 1 keeps the wall the exact same length as it is now, while alternative 2 shortens it. The wall shortening causes the diagonal wall circled in green to be longer in alternative 2 than in alternative 1. This table further outlines the differences in the 2 alternatives. I'll go through a few of the key differences. First, the amount of space used for patient treatment is increasing by 18% for both alternatives in comparison to how it is now. The wasted space is being halved in alternative 1 and decreasing by 60% in alternative 2. The wasted space is defined as the area not used by the treatment rooms, storage, office, or walkway area. The big differences between the 2 alternatives is the square footage of the rooms and the wasted space.
One of the things the client asked for us to deliver is options on methods of separating the 2 treatment rooms. You can see the 2 best options shown on the slide for the client to choose from. We chose these 2 based on cost as well as their ability to block sound. Option A on the left is a movable wall. The client would need to buy 2 sets of the movable wall in order to cover the whole width of the treatment room, as well as 3 legs to hold the wall up. All of this comes out to a total of $1,205. This wall has a noise reduction coefficient of 0.65, making it better for blocking sound between the two treatment rooms. Option B on the right is installing a beam for a curtain to hang from to separate the rooms. It would require more construction time and labor, but is more aesthetically pleasing. This option would require her to buy 3 curtains for a total of $327, as well as approximately $100 for the construction of the beam. The noise reduction coefficient for the curtains is less than the wall at only 0.55. We presented these two options in our final presentation to our client to choose from.
One of our client requirements is to give an estimate cost and a timeline for each alternative. In order for our team to be able to present a real cost analysis of each alternative, our team decided to meet with a contractor that provided us with the following information. The contractor suggested we assume that the labor will cost $50 per hour. However, it can vary depending on who our client hires. We divided the cost into 2 different categories, cost of materials and cost of labor. From the tables, we can see that there's no noticeable difference in the cost between alternatives. What makes a difference between the two is the type of room divider selected. The total cost for this project could be in between $5,000 or $6,000. For the duration of each alternative, based on the information provided by the contractor, it could take on average between 4 to 6 days depending on the alternative and room separator selected, since as previously mentioned, one of the room separators requires installation.
In order to choose the best alternative, we used the analytical hierarchy process to analyze each criteria. We began by defining the 5 criteria that our client is interested in. Then she ranked them by priority. From there, we conducted the process and got the results defined in the bottom of the page. From these results, alternative 2B is showing the highest overall score, meaning it is the best alternative based on the information provided from our client. Alternative 2B included the shortened wall and curtain beam separation. We also checked the consistency of our results and got a consistency ratio of 0.05, which is less than 0.1, meaning our results are consistent.
As previously mentioned, Alternative 2B is the best based on the information our client gave. This is a 3D model representation of what Alternative 2B looks like. In this model, the wall by the hallway is going to be shortened. The front wall is going to be taken down and rebuilt further forward plus a diagonal wall, which will decrease the wasted space and also increase the space for the treatment rooms. To divide the rooms, we're going to use a beam and a curtain, which can be moved to open up the space and transform it into a yoga room.
Currently, the facility has 3 treatment rooms shared between the 2 acupuncturists. According to the revenue last year, which was $128,219, only about 30% of the capacity of the 3 rooms are being actually utilized for patient care. With our new layout and the addition of the extra treatment room, the total capacity of the facility will increase by 25%, and the projected revenue will be $672,000, with an additional $20,000 if they provide 2 yoga classes a week in their new space. This results in a total projected revenue of $692,000. In order to calculate all of this, we assumed a few things. First, they will be able to get enough demand to meet full capacity. Also, there will be 10 people in each yoga class paying $20 per class, and the utilization is based on an 8-hour workday, Monday through Saturday. Lastly, the approximate investment of $5,000 to $6,000 and potential profits give a payback period of less than 1 year. All right, well, that was our senior project. Thank you. And we just wanted to make one last note of the work breakdown for this project, which is broken down fairly evenly. I, Lysandra, was in charge of the AHP and 2D visual aids. Grace was in charge of cost analysis and contractor communication. And Jennifer was in charge of 3D visual aids and timelines. And then we all took part in the 5S, facility measurements, lit reviews, and economic analysis. Thank you.